Okay, so once again, we're back in Orbiter Spaceflight Simulator. We will be doing yet another, wait, imo-monitor ko muna yung health ng stream natin. Hello, test, 1, 2, 3, sound check natin. Hello, test, 1, 2. Okay, mukhang okay naman. So, unlike yesterday, I believe yesterday when we did this, teka, share ko muna yung stream to Space One. Yeah, let's share the stream to Space One. Share to a group and Space One. And I'm going to try and find my summary of what we're doing. Paste ko doon. There's a buzz in my microphone. I hope hindi siya nakaka-annoy. Okay, so we are all good to go, I think. So welcome again to Orbiter. The main difference today is instead of just flying regular na Delta glider, we are on board something a bit more sophisticated. This is the XR2, no? From Altea Aerospace. This is a really nicely designed I don't know if we can call it a modification, pero it's a rewrite of the old Orbiter Delta glider. And it has some very nice features. Ayun, may mga piloto tayo. Parang si Scott Manley. Si Scott Manley yata yung piloto natin. And sino kaya yung girl? According dito sa documentation, the girl is Kara. Pero si ano na lang yan, si physics girl. Ayan. Si Scott Manley yung pilot natin. And we are taking off from... pasensya na kayo. Very simple yung ating runway kasi ako lang gumawa nito kasi we are in a spot called Alcantara. It's still evening, no? It's night time here in Brazil, no? This is South America. And there is a reason why we're taking off from this spot. Kasi Alcantara is just around 270 kilometers south of the equator. O, di ba? So meaning hindi na kailangan magano. We don't have to perform a plane change maneuver much. I can do probably a little bit of it while on ascent. Pero I mean, it doesn't really matter. In fact, siguro hindi ako gagawa ng plane change maneuver because we are going to deploy a satellite and I want to see yung parang figure of 8 na orbit na gagawin niya once it reaches geostationary, once we deploy it, no? There'll be a little cute hopefully, kasi in order to really produce the figure of 8 dapat may imperfection kasi kanina while I was doing this as a practice, my eccentricity value became 0, so wala akong nakitang orbit, squiggly lines lang kasi perfect na perfect yung eccentricity. Meaning we created a perfectly circular orbit, although my inclination from the equator wasn't perfect. Kaya nagkaroon ng squiggly lines, no? So, gusto ko figure of 8. Medyo challenging ito. Pero titingnan na lang natin. I think this is a live broadcast, so anything can happen. I might not be even able to successfully take off, no? So, very highly sophisticated. In fact, I should not be talking much kasi as you can see, this is this craft is full of resources, no? Including oxygen, meaning the crew will not survive if ma-deplete yung oxygen. And right now, nakikita nyo, may isang value dito na it's counting down. That's the APU. In fact, I'm gonna turn it off right now while I'm talking para hindi mag-deplete. What is APU? That's for the auxiliary power unit. So merong yan fuel. I just don't know. I forgot. Nasa documentation yun kung ano yung fuel na ginagamit ng APU. We also have fuel for the scramjet. This is later for when we operate at a very high altitude of around between 40 to 50 kilometers or maybe even 30 to 50 kilometers. When we reach speeds above Mach 10, ito yung gagamitin natin kasi fuel savings natin ito eh. We can save a lot of the main propellant when we use the scramjet engines. At uubusin ko yan. I'm going to deplete the scramjet engines until we reach something in the neighborhood of Mach 18 to Mach 20. No? That's 20 times the speed of sound. Imagine that. Then we also have the Rcs Fuel. Notice here may crossfeed knob. It means the main and Rcs fuels are of the same kind of propellant. So we can actually like crossfeed, meaning kung ma-deplete na konti yung RCS, I can replenish it by handing over fuel from the main fuel tank and vice versa. Meaning if ma-deplete na yung main, pwede tayong bumawas sa RCS. Although, even though the graph looks like this, medyo misleading, no? Konti lang actually itong vessel na to. The RCS tank is actually a tiny tank compared to the main propellant tank. So as you can see, it's pretty much a sophisticated spacecraft. Meron pa siyang overhead panel where you have all the controls to operate all the mechanical stuff like the airlocks, chamber pressurization. This is really a full suite, no? Para talaga siyang real aircraft with systems, and these systems are interlinked. So talagang malayong-malayo na siya from the old Delta glider of default orbiter. It's really highly sophisticated. So balik tayo dito sa view na to. You have meron pa siyang virtual cockpit that's nicely done. And ayan si Kara. Nakita niyo na siguro siya before in some of my orbiter videos. This is actually, orbiter kasi is really old, kaya yung graphics talaga dated. And look, the cockpit is not even an interactive cockpit. It's just a placeholder. Fake lahat yan. Pang lang talaga to, pang, visualizing. Pero the real meat is this, which is the no panel display, yung purely out of the window plus HUD. At saka eto, which has a panel, and eto pa nga, merong cargo view. Ewan ko lang paano to ginawa, para may mali dito kasi dapat may camera, diba? So this is a camera pointed down at the fuselage where we can actually sige, operate ko na lang para makita ninyo kasi I'm turning on the APU now. And I'm going to open the bay doors. Andyan yung satellite. It's actually not a satellite. It's actually a crew habitat module. Pero we're going to pretend na ito yung Philippine satellite that we need to deploy in Geostationary Orbit. So, ayan siya. Nasa bay 1. No? Bay slot 1 yung ating payload. And once we reach Geostationary Orbit over the Philippines, i-deploy natin to. Okay? Let's close the bay doors. Speed up time a bit. Okay, turn off the APU again. Balik tayo sa forward view. So what is the plan? So the plan is just like in my previous video. We're going to ascend to orbit after takeoff. Actually, the first step pala to ascend to an altitude of around 18,000 meters, 18 kilometers, where we will engage. We will first open the scram engine inlet and intake doors, then turn on the scram engine, and if we reach about Mach 4, I'm going to turn off the main engines para makasave tayo ng fuel on ascent, so that it will we will just be relying purely on scramjet power. We will be doing this at an altitude between around 25,000 meters or 25 kilometers up to 50 kilometers. Mainly scramjet yung gagamitin natin habang dahan-dahan siya nagka-climb, and dahan-dahan din magi-increase yung ating airspeed from Mach something in the neighborhood of Mach 5 hanggang Mach 18 to 20. By that time, halos madi-deplete na yung scramjet fuel. If it gets depleted at an altitude of around 50 kilometers or more, I'm going to turn off the scramjet engines. Actually, there's no point. It's going to turn off automatically, close the scram bay doors, And then, we're going to do the climb out, continue the ascent, pero on the main engines na. And hopefully, we've saved enough for the big burn to geostationary orbit. Kasi very, ano yan. And this time around, since we are actually longitudinally, we're more eastwards compared to Florida, medyo mas challenging ngayon. Meaning, very, very quickly dapat yung preparation natin for that big burn to push our apogee up to 42.14 or 42,140 kilometers above the Earth. Now, to reach that area above the Philippines where we have the geostationary spot, so we can deploy the satellite. Okay? So, ano nga ba to? This mission might take anywhere between 30 minutes and 45 minutes, maybe even longer, kung magka-crash tayo or magkamali ako. Kasi, one thing, if you notice dito sa display natin, dito sa baba, may temperature display. If I'm not careful, pwedeng mag-burn up etong craft natin. Unlike the old Delta Glider na medyo forgiving, this one is talagang terrible. I mean, very sensitive siya to heat. As you can see, heat sensors are placed all around the fuselage. So we have to be careful. And not only that, may internal cooling din tayo over here. May coolant dyan na trying to cool down all the systems. Kaya, sometimes, external heat can also increase that. But once we are in space, we can deploy. Over here is a radiator that we can deploy once we are in orbit para maka-dissipate ng konti ng fuel. Maraming mga some features here na maganda. Ito, yung HUD color, pwede kong i-change. Then, pwede kong palitan itong mga information on these secondary HUDs, which I can actually, which I can actually access. Ito, may tertiary HUD. Pwede kong i-off. Okay, ang dami niyang visual aids. So, I think without further ado, we can prepare for takeoff now. Teka, check ko muna yung health ng ating stream. If everything is going well. So far, so good naman. I think. Okay, so hello to my 2 viewers. Dalawa lang, hindi popular yung ating yung ating live stream. I'm tempted to share this Philippine Pilots group kasi may group called Philippine Pilots. Minsan kung ano-ano lang naman pinipaste dun pati Dota. It would be interesting to share maybe something like this to such a group kasi it's still about flight, no? This is aerospace. Kasi part of our operations will be in the tinatawag na kung may Mach regimes, may isang Mach regime called the hypervelocity hypersonic regime of Mach flight. So mag-hypersonic tayo mamaya. So is everyone ready? Ano kaya? Do you think it's a good idea? Baka i-ban kasi ako dun sa Philippine Pilots if I share this Or yung isa pa, Aviation Philippines. Kasi magde-deploy naman tayo ng Philippine Satellite Kuno di ba? Kayo na lang bahala. Whoever is watching, if you want to share it, this live stream somewhere else, even a gaming page maybe. Sayang, no? Kasi kung naisipan ko lang, meron nga pala akong isang gaming page, I could have shared this. Pero uulitin ko na naman yung intro para maintindihan nila kung ano nangyayari. So, medyo matatagalan tayo. So, dito na lang muna. Para kung medyo pumalpak, kung medyo pumalpak yung attempt natin, then I can perhaps restream it to one of the, to my main page, to Space One, and then to one of the gaming pages that I know of. Okay, it's a great weekend ahead of us, so let's prepare. Turn on APU again. Okay, after turning on APU, let's switch on the atmospheric flight control. What this does basically is, although it does operate with the control surfaces, gagamit siya ng RCS. Although I could turn it off in the beginning, yung pure RCS mode, pero turn on na lang natin. We have lots of Rcs Fuel, so it will help immensely with our maneuvering. Meaning, even though wala masyadong effect ang RCS within Earth's atmosphere, makakatulong pa rin. And even though I do have a joystick, and it's really easy to control this craft with the joystick, I opted not to kasi lalo na if yung joystick hindi ko na-prepare and na-align properly, baka may mga spikes in the joystick and it will really screw up kasi very precision yung mga maneuvers na gagawin natin. Kaya I'd rather just control the craft using the keyboard. Sanay naman tayo so it's gonna be fine. So many things to watch out for. Itong wing loading gauge. This is very important kasi aerodynamic stress can really, affect our craft. In fact, it can crack the hull. Kaya talagang, this is a fragile craft. Talagang, we can fail. So, unlike yung earlier video ko with the old Delta Glider, etong craft na to is really, really a bit delicate. Kailangan alagaan siya to reach, yung orbit. Anyway, APU is running, so maubusan tayo ng time. Turn on ko na lang muna lahat ng lights. Confirmed, strobes and everything. Siguro I have to turn off the strobe kasi total hindi naman tayo nagta-taxi. Yan lang. Beacon is on, lights are on. Okay, everything is set. I think we can now take off. Sige, take off na tayo and we will be headed due east. So right now, this runway is oriented 60 degrees. So, yung bearing natin dapat mag-turn right tayo to a heading of 90 degrees while we ascend.
APU fuel 80%.
Oh yeah, may mga call-outs So, ewan ko kung parang bitching Betty yan or like si Kara yung nagsasabi ng mga updates like APU fuel is 80% kasi nadideplete. So, may mga useful reminders. Although, if you invoke accelerated time, medyo nakakainis yan minsan yung mga updates. Paulit-ulit Okay, you can actually turn it off via configuration file. Pero anyway, without further ado, let's take off. So first, ano ba? May ano nga pala to, pre-flight checklist yata, pre-takeoff checklist. Saan nga ba yung mga checklist dito?
Re-entry check failed.
Ito, of course, re-entry check has failed kasi hindi naman tayo magre-re-enter. So, magandang ano lang yun, reminder. Yung ano na yon, yung page na yon. If we are about to do a re-entry, kailangan may checklist tayo para to make sure na parang airtight yung craft so that yung thermals while it's re-entering, hindi madadamage yung craft and we will die. Yeah. The passengers here and the pilots will die. Okay, first nga pala, before anything else, I'm going to select orbit and projection. Yan. Yung iba would opt probably for the surface HUD, the surface MFD, pero okay lang. Gusto ko naka-display na agad yung orbit Okay? I think we're good to go. Bakit naka-parking brake? 100% daw. Meron tayong health dito. Tingnan ko muna sa health kung paano alisin yung parking brake. Ano nga ba yung brakes dito? Scram doors, retro doors. App control mode toggle is alt. Yan. Then, ba't walang wheel brakes? Hindi ko mahanap Anyway, let's do this. Okay, let's take off. Okay.
100 knots.
May mga call out
V1. Rotate.
Sabi rotate daw.
Up. Gear up.
Turning to the right.
Gear deployed. Gear up and locked.
Okay, we're safe. Gear up and locked. Siguro I'm going to climb out at around 45 degrees. Okay, we're about 90 degrees heading. Oops, sumobra. Balik tayo ng konti. Okay na siguro itong 40 degrees na climb out.
Mach 1.
Okay. Sonic boom. We have reached Mach 1. And as you can see, ano na, no? Dawn na. Okay. In a little while, I'm going to turn, I'm going to open the scramjet intake doors. Okay. Relaxing my climb rate. Tingnan nyo yung temperature display on the bottom. Nag-i-increase na yung hull temperature, oh. Okay. Okay. It's now time to open the scram. We're at Mach 2, so I'm going to open the scramjet doors. Then, turning on the scram engines. May kagat na ba? So, I'm going to... Ayun. We're now running on scram... Oh, hindi pa enough. Kulang pa. Teka. Tingnan natin kung... nag-respond na. Ayan, nag-respond na. Mach 3 yata dapat or Mach 4 eh. Pero let's see. Ayan, nag-respond na yung ating scramjet. Yan yung intakes eh. Naka-open. Okay. This is the western coast of Brazil or South America. I forgot what city is that. Yung may city lights dyan. Wala akong consumption rate ng scram. Sana may consumption rate reading. Teka, I'm going to lower my altitude again. Kasi the reason behind what I'm doing is I want to get more airspeed. Wala kulang eh. It can't kick off the scramjet. Medyo nag-stall. So, I'm adding a bit more of main engine thrust.
Mach 3.
Ayan, nag-Mach 3 na. Siguro Mach 4 magbabite na tayo. Kakagat na yung compression ng scramjet. Lowering the main. Cutting off main. Tingnan nyo yung temperature display. We're really getting hot.
Mach 4.
Yan, Mach 4 na. Kakagat na talaga to. My main concern kasi, diffuser temperature. My main concern yung ayun, fuel flow ng scram. Nakikita ko na.
Mach 5.
Ayan.
Warning, hull temperature.
Okay, hull temperature is getting hot.
Warning,
Muntik tayo.
stress.
Muntik na tayo.
Hull temperature.
Oh no.
Warning, hull temperature.
We just broke our ailerons. Pero it doesn't matter. See, I told you, live stream tayo ngayon.
Mach 7.
Nasira yung aileron natin. I'm sorry. Ano ba bang nasira? Right wing, right aileron. Air brakes destroyed. Nako. Kaya tingnan nyo, merong unwanted na roll nangyayari because our ailerons are damaged. Hindi ko napansin na sobrang taas na pala ng air temp. So you see, konting lang talaga. Konting mali and it's very unforgiving. But can the mission continue? Definitely. Kasi the atmosphere in a while won't be a factor much. Kasi we're going out of the Earth's atmosphere. So I don't think magi-impact severely yung yung problem. Yung pabalik. But I'm not actually going to stream our return trip. Kasi parang na to eh. Parang yung nangyari sa Colombia na they're doomed, no? Na talagang nung nabutas yung leading edge ng shuttle, wala na silang magagawa doon.
Mach 11.
may mga ano stories na sana daw na rescue siya ng another shuttle, but during that time kasi wala pang means to do stuff like that, 'di ba?
Mach 12.
Okay, I'm going to dip down back into the atmosphere kasi at this height hindi na masyadong efficient yung ating scramjet. So I'm going to descend again back to around 50 kilometers hanggang makakating tayo ng mga Mach 18. Ang sama ng feeling na nakakita ng failure lights. You know, I think baka pwede nating i-repair ito kasi merong EVA operations to meaning when we are out in space, we can do a repair perhaps of the broken stuff, no? By going there and try to figure out if we can repair the damaged aileron, air brake. Kasi mga control surfaces lang naman yan Okay. The outside air temperature is increasing again, so kailangan nating mag-climb. Mali. We're gonna die. Sorry, we're gonna die. See, I told you. Konting what's this? We're now a meteor flying through the atmosphere. Konting lang talaga dito, mistake and you're dead, no? So it makes it gamified orbiter from a simulator, talaga naging game na siya. So ano yung mga mistakes? Number one is I was too busy talking and I wasn't monitoring the external temperature. And what aggravated this? Yung second incident. Yung second incident, di ba sabi ko, even if we damaged our aileron and our air brakes, pwede pa namang matuloy yung mission. Pero remember, I said, oy, we're too high, so let's dip down into the atmosphere. That was also a bit of a mistake kasi if I dip down too low, sira nga yung aking control surfaces. So how do I get back up? No? So medyo wrong move. So tapos could we manage an abort in this case? Maybe dapat yung procedure pero it's going to be very difficult at this altitude. We might have to do a ditching in the sea, no? Kung kaya ba kasi we were at Mach 15 na yata Kaya medyo mahirap na. Although the incident occurred at around Mach 10. Kaya kaya pa siguro. But anyway, baka naman hindi disappointing, no? So let's go back and restart that mission again. Teka. Ano ba nakikita sa ating blank lang siya, no? Kasi don't worry, babalik yan once I restart the mission. Asa na ba yan? Take off from Alcantara. So, hindi na ako dadada. Alam nyo naman lahat, nandito naman lahat sa video, yung intro ko kanina, ulitin nyo na lang. And this time around, I'm going to concentrate. I'm going to concentrate on this flight. Teka. May gagawin muna tayo para real time ulit. Function, scenario editor, and I'm going to change the date to now. Apply, and done. Close. Okay. So, again, take 2. Taking off to Geostationary Orbit over the Philippines. Okay, everything is ready.
Rotation.
Let's take off.
knots. V1. Rotate. Wheels up. Gear up. Retro doors are closed. Warning. Gear deployed.
Okay. Doing the turn. And climbing. Pitch attitude around 40 degrees. Turning to a heading of 90 degrees. 1.
fuel 90%.
Okay, we're above the cloud layer. Altitude of 8 kilometers. Okay, at around 15 kilometers altitude. Wait, level out na tayo ng konti. Yep. Going to open the scram doors.
Translation. Rotation. Mach 2.
Okay, Mach 2. So, unlike kanina, may mali din tayo kanina. Now, I'm going to reach Mach 4 muna before engaging the scram. And maybe 25 kilometers altitude. Sige. Let's do that.
Mach 3.
Okay, we're Mach 3. Turning on the scram. Pagdating ng Mach 4, I'm going to slowly turn off the engines.
Mach 4.
Here we go. And voila, we are on scramjet, hypersonic. There we go. Monitor na lang yung temp. Tulungan nyo na lang ako. Monitor the temp. Pero ang problema, I can't see the chat. Tsaka may delay kaya hindi nyo talaga ako mawawarn if yan ang function ng multi-crew. Kasi somebody should be monitoring the outside temperature, telling me if we're getting too hot.
Mach 5.
Okay, climb tayo ng konti. No. Balik tayo, balik. Kasi I want to be somewhere between 40 and 50 kilometers when we reach Mach 15. And just carefully watching the external hull temperature. Yeah. Looks good so far.
Mach 6.
Okay, Mach 6. Climb nga tayo to 40 para yung air density is less, kaya getting faster.
Mach 7.
Ayan na. May sweet spot kasi to in terms of climb rate, altitude, and the airspeed necessary to keep the very efficient fuel flow to the scramjet engines.
Mach 8.
Yan na. Maganda na yung yung rate of change ng Mach. Outside temperature, checking temperature. It's increasing pero at a manageable level. Manageable naman. Just monitor. Okay, changing this display mode to orbital plane. Okay lang. And changing this one to orbit.
Mach 10.
Okay, Mach 10. Okay, ang outside air temperature is still good. Okay. 50 kilometers.
Mach 11.
Mach 11, 50 kilometers. Maganda. We can afford to dip down a bit. Hindi naman umiinit. Dip down tayo kasi I don't want to reach 60.
Mach 12.
Kasi reaching 60 kasi really not good for the scramjet engines. Parang halos wala na siyang air na magamit. But temperature is increasing again, so balik ulit tayo sa taas.
Mach 13.
Okay, let's go up. Mabalik na yung air temp. Of course, this is because we're reaching Mach 15. Kaya sobrang init na. What does it look like outside? Look at that. Naluluto na.
Mach 14.
Kasi maganda talaga when we reach around, ano? When we reach around Mach 19, talagang laki ng fuel savings for main propellant
Mach 15.
Yan. Mach 15 na, so very, very nice. Air temp, outside air temp is manageable.
Mach 16.
Mach 16. And outside air temp is actually dropping because we're gaining altitude. Mas malamig na sa exosphere But look, kahit na ba rarefied dito yung air, it's still colliding with our craft and causing the plasma glow. But that's not necessarily a plasma glow. Talagang residual glow from the heat. Iba yung itsura ng plasma glow talaga. It's almost white hot.
Mach 18.
Okay. Malapit na ma-deplete yung scram. So we're getting ready to close the scram bay doors after ma-deplete. Magma-Mach 20 na.
Mach 19. Warning, scram fuel low.
Nabahan ako dun Okay, we're about to deplete our scram fuel.
Warning, scram temperature.
Okay, closing scram doors.
Warning, scram temperature.
Okay, now. We're going to do the rest of the ascent. Ganda na ng boost natin. Konti na lang.
21.
Konti na lang. We're going to be in orbit. Yung APR natin should be around 6.49. Pwede na. In fact, yan, 6.5. I can actually wait na lang for coasting to apogee. Will be around over 100 kilometers siguro. Gawin na lang nating 7. No, I mean 6.6. I forgot kasi what is the altitude from ground level at that
Mach
point.
24. Mach 24.
Sige, increase na lang ulit tayo. I want to save kasi isang propellant Yeah, I'm pretty sure we're going to reach over 100 kilometers
Mach
altitude.
25.
So, okay lang. We're at Mach 25. So, yeah. Pretty much near orbital speeds pero not yet. Kasi dapat ang speed natin is 7.3. At least 7.2 kilometers a second. No? So 6.9 pa So it's not we're not there yet.
25.
We haven't reached orbit. Suborbital pa rin to. Pero we're going to first eto pwede na. So 100 kilometers. So therefore we can now deploy the radiator and also retro. Hindi ko pala na-on yung lights natin. And radiator. This is basically a giant heat sink. Then open na rin yung retro doors here so that we can do retro firing without turning around the ship. May background music, no? Over there. Our APT or time to apogee is 278 seconds as of this time. I'm going to orient prograde. You can see the sun rise over there in the horizon. May mali sa graphics. Nakikita yung sun through the virtual cockpit. Yan na yung sunrise. Okay, malayo pa. Still around 243 seconds prior to pero actually I'm going to start my circularization burn at around maybe 60 seconds prior to 1 minute before reaching apoapsis. You have to be generic. Okay, teka. Accelerated time tayo. Nakakainip.
Information. APU fuel 80%.
Mag-warn yan eh. Pag walang load ang APU, you have to turn it off. Sige, turn off na lang natin. Hindi naman ginagamit eh. Okay. Asar palagi si Kara eh. Palaging ayaw niya na ginagamit or naka-on yung APU and there's no load or we're not operating any mechanical equipment. Okay, APT is going to be about 60 seconds. Teka. So I'm preparing. Prograde mode pa rin tayo or prograde orientation. Okay, yan na. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, eccentricity is going down. Pero teka, I'm going to cancel now. And again, yung APT natin, let's bring it down to around 20 seconds. Okay. Nine, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, burn. Eccentricity, watch eccentricity. Teka. Again. This time around 10 seconds from the APT. Perfectionist, no? Total, we're still a few minutes before Africa. Kasi Africa tayo mag-burn eh. We're approaching the coast of Africa and we're going to do the actual major burn once we are over Africa itself. So, okay lang. We still have time. Okay, let's... eccentricity is 7, 6, 75. Konting thrust lang. Enough to reach an eccentricity value of around below 10. Whoop, ayan. And I think pwede tayo mag-spend ng a few 59%. Well, hindi naman tayo babalik. I'm not going to record. Maybe I can save it and then later, kung gusto nyo makita yung return trip from Geostationary Orbit back to Earth, which is very, very, very difficult, I tell you. Pinag-practicean ko pero I still fail 1 out of 2 attempts. 50% lang yung success rate ko. Mahirap bumalik, especially in this kind of craft na talagang very, very demanding in terms of dapat alagaan talaga siya mabuti. Okay, will I correct? Hindi na ako gagawa ng plane correction. Even though we're approaching the equator, wag na lang. Kasi gusto ko nga makita yung figure of 8 if it does happen. Kasi dati, when I launched from Florida, ang ganda ng figure of 8 eh. Pero this time around, it's fine. Okay, pagdating dyan banda sa may Lake Victoria, I think that's Lake Victoria, yung para may spots dyan sa gitna ng map. That's when we're going to perform the main burn. Prograde. Okay. Still at prograde. So we're going to start our burn. Siguro roughly 1 minute from now, we're going to do the burn. Ganda oh. Okay yung soundtrack niya, no? Okay. Malayo pa ba? Ano lang to ba? Very ina-eyeball ko lang talaga kasi this formula works for me. If I burn close to this lake here, which I believe is Lake Victoria in Africa, that's when I get a good result, no? But it will hover over the Philippines talaga once I complete the entire burn. Yung circularization. After I reach an APR of 42.14. Yan yung target natin. This is the APR value. This would be the altitude from the very center of the Earth in thousands. So meaning pag nakita nyo yung 42.14, that's actually 42,140 kilometers from the center of the Earth, yung APR. So that's what we're going to watch out for as we approach the center of Africa. That's when I'm going to start the burn. Mali ako, hindi pala 1 minute, mga 2 minutes. Konti na lang. I can accelerate time too. Sige. Okay, we're past Cape Town, so I think pwede na dito. Let's start. Okay, everything is set. Naka-deploy na yung everything is deployed na kailangan i-deploy. Check status lang nito. I'm just going to demonstrate for a while itong RCS and main crossfeed. So, tingnan nyo. Babawasan ko yung RCS, lalagyan ko yung main.
Crossfeed, main.
Di-deplete yung RCS, but look how fast it is depleting, pero halos walang effect dito sa main. Kasi maliit lang to na container. So, I'm going to, siguro 60%, i-off ko na siya. Para makabawi lang tayo ng konti sa main fuel.
Crossfeed, off.
Unfortunately, the crossfeed can only happen between main and RCS kasi same type of fuel, but Scram and APU iba. So you can't use that. Okay, we have to burn. Okay, ready, set, go. Without further ado, we're burning apogee. We're burning for that apogee mark that will bring us above the Philippines. No mistakes so far, hopefully. Yan problema talaga if you don't concentrate on what you're doing. I was like talking kanina, kaya nag-fail yung ating initial attempt. Pero right now, fully lock tayo. Watch APR. APR is the most important number here. APR natin dapat 42.14. So I'm actually going to, when we're very close now, I'm going to throttle down so that very precise yung value na makukuha natin. I want my value to be very precise so that yan. Look at how eccentric that is. Eto dapat 72.3, 72.4, 0.724 is a good number. Yung makikita dito sa eccentricity. So yan yung dalawang values pwedeng i-monitor. Okay, 50 na yung eccentricity. APR is 22. So we're roughly halfway there. Once it reaches around 35, diyan ko na iso-slow down yung throttle or ipo-pull back yung throttle natin. So it's a liquid engine, no? Kasi we can throttle it up and down. Yan na, 31, 32, 33. I'm starting to throttle down. 35, 36, 37. Yan, para precise tayo. 38, 39, 40. Yung iba ayaw gawin ito. Gusto nila instantaneous kasi may mga residual pag ganito na partially nagta-throttle down. Ayan na. 42. There we go. Medyo konting mistake pero that's not gonna matter much. Okay na to. I think we're good. Just save ko lang just in case. Para hindi tayo umulit from the very beginning, no? Hanapin na lang natin yung save file in case magkamali ako dito. I wanna change the HUD color now para at least may na tayo, parang space na tayo. Kaya ito yung indicator. Space ops. APU is still off, so it won't be depleted. Oxygen levels is good. Siguro during this ano to? Ano nga bang term dito? Hindi to cis-lunar kasi we're not headed to the moon. Just highly eccentric orbit na maneuvers. We can actually like do an EVA, no? Just a demonstration of the EVA capabilities. May jetpack ito eh. Pero nakakatakot kasi baka mamaya may mangyari sa ating astronauts and mag-fail tuloy tayo sa mission natin. But I'm gonna do it. Siguro halfway, when we're well away from the Earth, we're going to do that. So yeah, tingnan ko muna yung status ng ating from external view. Yan.
Translation.
Okay, translation and kill rot para nakalock yung natin view. And let's see what it looks like at accelerated time. Wait, I'm going to turn off my lights kasi para hindi mag-deplete. Hindi ko sure how the batteries work here eh. Pero walang solar panels eh. So baka from the fuel, I'm going to turn off the lights lang para hindi mag-consume. And then I'm going to do a accelerated time para manood tayo as the Earth recedes from view. Accelerated time. Look at that. Wow. Yan na. Itong Philippines. We're actually going to do parang retrograde orbit a bit. Lalampasan actually natin yung Philippines Borneo area. But then it's going to slowly drift back because the Earth would be rotating faster than our speed as we approach the apogee. Kaya parang magka-catch up siya. And we will settle over in this spot siguro. I mean, above that spot. If you draw a line from the center of the Earth to where we are in the orbit, dito banda between Borneo and the Philippines. Okay, I think this is a good time to do the test maneuvers. Teka. Test maneuvers. Ano to? Test EVA. Paano nga ba yan? EVA turbo pack management. Deploy turbo pack. Pero kailangan kasi i-assign. Sino bang i-assign? You have to assign someone eh. Tsaka, teka, before assigning someone to do the EVA, kailangan yata ano muna. May kasi ito, may mga procedures talaga on how to carefully pressurize the first yung outer door, inner door, chamber. Nako. Yung nose cone ang pwedeng i-open regardless, 'di ba? So let's open that.
APU offline.
Offline ng APU, turning on the APU. Let's open the nose cone. Ayan. For docking kasi ito eh, but at the same time, aside from docking, it can be used as an airlock, no? Okay. So let's pressurize it, no? Let's pressurize the chamber. Pressurize. Bakit evacuate? Inner door, pag i-open to, may air sa loob. So kailangan i-evacuate siya pag may may sasakay. May air. So it means may air sa loob ng ating So sino mag-EVA? Ito pala. Si Kara. Yung ating co-pilot will be doing the EVA. Meron ding isa palang girl on board. BSG support 1, siya na lang si Sharon Valerie. Okay? So paano ba to? If she's going to do the EVA, ano to? Deploy turbo pack. Paano ba to? Can we see the turbo pack now? Teka. If we're going to deploy the turbo pack, okay, EVA.
Warning, outer door is closed.
Okay, outer door is closed. Of course. Pero Inner door is... outer door is closed. Inner door...
Information. APU running.
Okay, kuklose natin yung inner door. Then, i-evacuate ko ng air. So, we can do the EVA. Okay.
Airlock depressurizing.
Depressurizing with Sharon Valerie inside the airlock. See? Ang galing, no? Pati yung mga ganitong systems, you understand what needs to be done. Kasi, hindi kasi pwedeng basta-bastang lumabas lang, no, into the vacuum of space. Kailangan may parang intermediate chamber wherein you can like get rid of the air so that pag open mo ng main hatch,
airlock pressure 0 psi.
0 psi na. So, ready na. Okay, so... okay. Vacuum na yung airlock. I can now open the outer door and release Sharon. Buti. Nakakatakot minsan pag-release mo ng button, parang walang warning, biglang sasabog. Kasi baka mamaya mali yung, yung pressurization. Kasi pag emergency, you can override that just in case, parang yung scene sa 2001: A Space Odyssey, yung si Hal, he went crazy and they had to come in and force the door open. May mga possible scenarios like that here eh. Pero anyway, tingnan natin what it looks like. Ayun, naka-open na, pero I can't see an astronaut. Tingnan ko muna yung si Sharon, dapat kasi deploy turbo pack. Bakit ayaw? Or kailangan ba lalabas muna yung astronaut? I think kailangan nakalabas muna yung astronaut. So Sharon can now do EVA. Why? Bay doors open. Ay, bay doors. Oh, closed, vacuum, closed. Inner door is closed. So why? What's going on? Bakit ayaw mag-EVA? Cameron Mitchell, ayaw mag-EVA. What's going on?
Information. APU running.
What's going on? Bakit ayaw? Si Kara kaya ayaw din. So there's something wrong talaga. EVA turbo pack. Stow all. Deploy turbo pack. There is really something going on here. Fuel hatch is closed. Main ring. May hindi tayo na-activate. What is... ayaw eh. Cabin hatch kaya? No. Hindi pwede yan. Kasi that's the cabin. Mamatay sila pag naka-open yan. So, what do we do to EVA? Ano kayang problem? Why ayaw? Or teka, i-close ko na lang muna yung outer door. Close ko yung inner door.
Information. APU running.
Gulo nito? Teka. Nalilito ako, folks. Sorry. Malayo pa naman tayo from our objective eh. So, we have lots of time to figure this out. Vacuum yung loob.
Warning.
Ayaw.
Outer door is closed.
I know. Pero paano nga pumasok? Sige.
Airlock pressurizing.
Pag ipe-press ko to, delikado eh. Kasi you're basically going to open the cabin hatch and,
Airlock pressure 14.7 psi. Warning. Outer door is closed.
you can't open that kasi naka-open to. May air sa loob. So, what's going on? Paano ba to? Baka may problem. What's wrong with the Raven Star? What's going on? EVA Turbo Pack Management. Hindi ko talaga maintindihan. Store.
Warning, outer door is closed.
What's going on? Chamber pressure, air. If I open this, close naman to, this air is going to like explode kasi may laman yan eh.
Airlock depressurizing. Airlock pressure 0 psi.
Bakit kaya ayaw? Hindi ko talaga maintindihan to. What's going on? Oh man. May EVA ano ba dito? Ano yung ano? Control space?
Information. APU running.
Internal MMU error. EVA failed. Oh, it's really a problem. Baka kasi may isa akong module na hindi hindi na-install. Kaya ayaw niya mag-EVA. Sorry folks, hindi tayo makaka-EVA. Kasi may mali yata yung installation ko. So let's just close everything. Let's close this door. Sorry. Nagsayang lang tayo ng time. May may ibang error, may systems error from the add-on itself eh.
Airlock pressurizing. Airlock pressure 14.7 psi.
Okay, turning off the APU. Medyo let down, no? Sorry folks. Tingnan nyo, pero panoorin nyo. Oh. Yan na. Dito na tayo over the Philippines, pero pabalik na. Paatras nyo mamaya eh, kasi going eastwards pa rin tayo, pero it's going to come back at this point. Sige. Control save muna ako dito. Then linear, kill rotation. Yeah. And then antayin natin until we reach tingnan nyo, lumampas na sa Philippines, but it's going to drift back. Ayan na. At the halfway mark, babalik na yan kasi the earth will catch up. Watch out. APT 7 6 5 4 3 2. Ayan na, lapit na tayo. And look, it's drifting back. APT is 1.8 1.7. Siguro at around 500 seconds I can start the long burn. Now I'm going to orient turn kahit na hindi mag-turn on ng turning prograde muna. Let's turn it prograde. Change tayo ng HUD type, orbit HUD, prograde mode. Antay na lang tayo ng 100 seconds. Teka, 300 na eh. Let's increase time acceleration. Yan. Okay. 3, 2, 1, burn. So our target is of course 0 eccentricity. PER na ang aabangan natin. PER should be 42 point mga 11 para medyo ma-cancel out. Kasi nasobrahan tayo ng APR eh. Which is fine. Checking our main fuel, 37%, okay pa. As you can see, we're not quite over the Philippines. Pero that's good enough. Lumampas ng konti. Meaning, biktima na naman tayo ng dada ako kanina, and we flew past that area in Africa where I should have done the burn, but that's fine. Okay, 35 na, so I'm going to slow down my pull down my thrust so we can better control the cutoff. 39, 40, 41, 42. Oh, naging 43 tuloy yung ano. Which is actually good yata. Kasi it means if we're a bit bigger, yeah. You know, if we are a bit bigger, that only means that aatras pa siya ng konti. Which is good. Kasi if aatras ng konti yung mag-retrograde tayo, we'll be towards closer to Borneo. That's fine. Para pag nasa kabilang side na tayo, we will just lower our orbit, di ba? Para maging more ano, kasi ngayong eccentricity value ko is 0.017 and I want that to be 0.001, something like that. So yeah, abangan na lang natin. We have enough oxygen. We won't deploy yet, so we can correct this. So see you on the other side of the orbit. Teka, sige, I forgot yung orbital period. No, 24 hours. 24 hours yata. Kasi syempre, it's geostationary. So, one round, isang ikot ng Earth is 24 hours. So, 12 hours yata yung wait. I'm going to accelerate time till we reach that 12-hour mark. Tagal, no? Pero, we have no choice at this point. So, we have to do it. Do it now. APU is off, so we can proceed. Yan, napakatagal. We're going to count almost 12 hours. And we're actually drifting back. Look at that. That's nice. Tapos, dapat retrograde ang orientation ko so that I can correct the APR. But actually, no. Naka-open yung aking retro thrusters. I'm going to use the retro thrusters kasi mas gentle siya. So, mas mapa-fine tune natin. And in linear mode, we can use RCS for the super fine corrections. Sige, ang ano natin, APT, ano, dapat PET yung, bakit ang nagka-count lang tayo APT? I'm very confused now. Are you saying, no, PET dapat eh, yan, 45, no, bakit ganon? I'm very confused at the moment. Bakit APT yan? Well, let's see. What happens if I press retro? Dapat liliit yung value, okay? Prograde ba tayo? Okay, we're in prograde. And let's watch. APR value is changing. Ah! Holy crap. Talaga palang 24-hour wait. 24 hours pala yung antay. Lots of oxygen, no problem. Mali. Bringing this up back again to 42.14. Then we're going to wait another 12 hours. I'm sorry. Mali ako. Dapat dito na node. PET. Yan. PET dapat yung binabantayan, which is the periapsis or the perigee. Okay. At about 100 seconds, we're going to slow down. Okay, yan na. Slow down na. And orient ourselves. Prograde again. And lower down hanggang umabot tayo ng 42.14. I'm comfortable with the position. So, okay na. Eccentricity value, look, we're gonna hit 0 now. Pero dapat hindi 0 eh. Kasi when we deploy the satellite ko, no, I want to actually see it. I mean, do the figure 8. Kung meron man. Whatever. Yan, dapat hindi perfect yung eccentricity. Okay, let's deploy. We're all good now. APU on. Eto na. Moment of truth. Let's open our bay doors. I can't see my stream right now, folks, no? Kaya kung may mga comments kayo, hindi ko napapansin. I'm concentrating on the mission. I don't want to screw up again. Okay. Are you ready? Sige. 3, 2, 1, deploy.
Deployed.
Payload deployed.
Rotation
Translation. Let's push away from the satellite para to steer clear. So atras, forward tayo ng konti. Atras tayo, atras. So we can actually see it above us when we return back to cockpit view. Sige, tingnan ko nga kung nakikita siya from the cockpit. If I change to F8 and look up, hindi pa. Supposedly, nandito na siya banda eh. Hindi pa nakikita. Should be over there. Adjust tayo up ulit.
Information. APU running.
Yun, kikita na siya. So it's up there and wait. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to change to its vantage point. Teka. Apply. There we go. Ito na yung vantage point ng ating satellite, quote unquote. So now let's watch its orbit. Zoom in. Track. Ayun. Hindi figure 8. Wiggly lines pa rin. Sayang. It means na we're quite perfect. Kasi dyan lang siya. Yan yung error niya. So, if this particular satellite has reaction control wheels or reaction control system, hindi pala reaction wheels. Anong term dyan? Yeah, it's called reaction wheels, diba? Or gyroscopic wheels that will allow it to turn. Pero kailangan pa rin ng RCS for linear translational controls to correct the positioning. Pero look, yan lang yung deviation niya dito sa Celebes Islands. So it's still over this area of the Philippines, so it can still observe the Philippines. So yan, ganito. I'll demonstrate. If we had a camera on board or like weather, kunyari weather climate monitoring. Voila, we just installed the weather satellite. Isn't that neat? So let's allow for 24 hours. Teka, balik muna tayo sa ating craft, the XR1, and I'm going to turn off. Nakalimutan ko i-turn off yung APU. So I'm going to, automatic. Galing nag-turn off by itself para makasave. Balik tayo sa payload. What I want to do right now kasi is let's find the Earth. I want to watch the Earth. Philippines just went into night. So if I accelerate the time, gusto ko makita going back. Ayan, sunrise. I had to check if ayan, cloud covered lang ang Philippines pero it's there. Ayan, mag-clear ng konti yung clouds and you can see Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. We now have an Earth observing satellite in geostationary orbit above the Philippines. Mission success. Hindi pa 100% success kasi dapat uuwi pa tayo, pero again, this live stream has been taking too long now, so dito lang tayo. Hanggang dito lang po tayo. I hope you enjoyed that. Uy, naka-open pa pala yung ating naka-open pa yung ating bay doors. Ano ba nga ba yung control B ba yung bay doors? Control B.
APU offline.
Offline yung APU, ayaw niya. So APU on. Control B. Ay, air brakes pala yun, sorry. Mali. Hindi air brakes. I wanted the bay doors. B ba? Hindi rin. Ito na lang. Okay. That ends our journey into Geostationary Orbit with the XR2, which is a very difficult craft, as you may have seen kanina with our initial failed attempt. Very difficult spacecraft to fly, even though it's fictitious, realistic yung mga systems niya. So I hope you enjoyed that. Sayonara. Nandito pa ba yung satellite? Or is it? Nag-drift away na yata. Oh, that's the moon. That's actually the moon. Over there. Okay. Hindi ko na makita. Hindi na ma-spot. Nakikita ba siya? If I zoom out. Hindi na siya nata-track. So, it's gone. F3. Hindi, nandun pa eh. Pero, asan kaya siya? F9 ulit. This is planetarium mode, by the way.
APU running.
Hindi ko siya makita. The thing is gone, man. Look at this. In planetarium mode, we can actually examine features on the Earth's surface. Naka-highlight siya. And there's a small database containing markers for features on the Earth that resemble craters on other planets. Like, you know, nandyan Pinatubo, Mayon. I think that's Taal over here. There's Mayon. There's, ano to? Yung sa Negros, Canlaon. Okay. Isn't that great? Okay. Goodbye. Ending my live stream now.
Information. APU running.